Is that how you do a drum roll? Hello, dear listeners. It's Mishi. And it has been a while. As many of you know, 12 years ago we had an ambitious dream to create an Israeli version of This American Life.
So Ira, how did you feel when you heard that there was this Israeli copycat?
I felt fine about it, actually. I felt flattered.
I don't know if you remember this, but the first time we met, I was kind of starstruck and really excited, and I walked into your office, and do you remember what happened?
I totally remember. I said to you, like, oh, are you the Israelis who are ripping off our show?
And is that how you felt, that we were the Israelis that were ripping off your show?
Well, it isn't a question of how I feel. That's just a statement of fact. You are the Israelis who are ripping off our show.
We were one of the very first podcasts in Israel. And frankly, no one really understood what we were up to. Want proof? Our first episode had a whopping 11 downloads. But since then, things have thankfully picked up. Exactly 10 years ago this week, during Chanukah of 2012, we became a primetime national radio show on Galei Tzahal, the Army Radio.
ברוכים הבאים לתוכנית הראשונה של סיפור ישראלי. בחודשים הקרובים אנחנו נהיה כאן כל שבוע ונבלה יחד את מה שמשטרת התנועה אמרה לנו שהיא השעה הכי פחוקה בשבוע. לי קוראים מישי הרמן.
And from there, the show took off. A year later, and somewhat counterintuitively, we decided to start an English language show as well. Or in other words, the American version of the Israeli version of This American Life.
Hey, and welcome to the very first English episode of Sipur Israeli, or Israel Story. I'm Mishi Harman. Hi. And, well, maybe the simplest way of introducing...
We did and still do this because we believe that the Israel people love and the Israel people hate are both imaginary places. And we tell the story of our Israel, a real, vibrant, messy, and emotional place. An Israel made up of people, ordinary people, living extraordinary lives.
I slept that night for the first time like I hadn't slept in years.
So one day I lost my, how you say it?
Inhibitions.
Control. Yeah. And I went to him and gave him a kiss here.
And an elderly lady poked out her head and said, Eben David, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm also a professional whistler.
Avinu Malekenu.
I can imitate a cell phone.
Honeinu Aneinu.
And I can do also a vibrating cell phone.
My name is Dubi, and I'm the first Israeli redneck living in the US.
And this is why this story is so important, because I don't have children. This is the closest I have to children, is to have a picture in Pinati.
If I can find someone like Queen Rania of Jordan, I would be so happy. And so,
thank you so much for having guts to come to Israel and marry me and let me have these visions.
I think I was the Queen of Beauty, and he was the King David. That's what I have to say. What was the question?
Aseima nudzdeka v'chesed ve'hoshienu.
Over the years, our show has continued to grow. We've produced 10 seasons, 4 in Hebrew and 6 in English, and have become, it's always a bit staggering for me to say this, the largest and most listened to Jewish podcast in the world, with millions of listeners in over 190 countries. And today we have a very exciting announcement. Drum roll. Our upcoming season, which will begin in just over a month, will be the first with our new partners, The Times of Israel. I'm a huge fan of The Times of Israel, and have been since they began publishing a decade ago. So we are truly honored and delighted to be joining forces with the leading, most widely read, and most influential English language news publisher here in Israel.
Okay, so David, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm David Horowitz. I'm the editor of The Times of Israel.
David, we are about to become family.
Yeah, we're very excited about this, and I know you are too. And where I think this partnership is exciting is because you tell Israel's story not from a conventional journalistic text-driven vantage point, but audio, meticulously researched, stories from the heart of Israel, I think, that get to what the characters that make this country tick, material that we don't come across in traditional and conventional journalism. And therefore, I think, our two approaches, I believe, complement each other incredibly well.
Well, David, good luck to both of us. And here's to the start of a wonderful relationship.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. So stay tuned for Israel Story's 7th season, produced in partnership with the Jerusalem Foundation and the Times of Israel, coming your way very soon. Until then, we'll be posting some of our all-time favorite episodes on the Times of Israel website at timesofisrael.com/podcasts. Okay, see you soon. Chanukah Sameach, Shalom Shalom, and Yalla Bye.
Wait. So how do you do a drum roll?
I think it goes...
My version is a little more like...
That's a turkey.
That is a turkey.
That's bad. Take this one.
Okay, now everyone do it at the same time.
Yeah, I think that sounded terrible.